Episode 3, JAMO. Palm Sunday. Draw and cut out some palm leaves. You can find a template online, or you can just make it up as you go. Today our reading is over Palm Sunday. You can find the verses talking about this in Matthew 21, verses 1 through 11. Before we start the story, I want to give a little explanation and talk some about why they crucified Jesus later this week, because it seems confusing how it's lined up, because they love Jesus in this story, and they worship him. To begin, the Jews back then, the ones who worshiped Jesus and loved him, had a different idea of who Jesus was supposed to be. Now, in the Old Testament, there's a prophet named Isaiah who talked about who their Messiah, who their king was. And who their king was a little different than who Jesus was. Their king was this superhero, strong, rich, wealthy, powerful king. Like when we think of a king, what we think of, castle, power. And they thought he would come and he would destroy the Romans and free and give the Israelites and give the Jews the land they deserved, the land they needed. And that's just not who Jesus was. Jesus was a God of mercy and love and grace, and he came to save everyone, not just the Jews. So in this story, when Jesus and the disciples needed to go to Jerusalem for Sabbath and for the Passover meal, Jesus told his disciples to go get him a donkey, which is not like a horse back then would have been righteous, what you would have thought a king would come in. And Jesus came down in a donkey, and people were so excited because he was this amazing teacher, and they believed he was going to be the Messiah that was going to come save them. And they were so excited that they worshiped. They put palm leaves on the ground. They threw their coats and jackets on the ground, and they cried, "Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna. The Messiah is here." And while they were right, he is the Messiah. It wasn't the Messiah that we know he is and that we've read he is. He was the Messiah in their mind of what they thought he was going to do. And so instead of destroying and wiping out a nation, he saved the world. And so what can we do with this? What can we do knowing who Jesus is? Our hosannas are more real. Our hosannas are more justified. We know what Jesus does. We know who he is and what he's about. He's not vengeful. He's not aggressive. He's loving. He's compassionate. He saves us. He saves everyone. He saves Zacchaeus. He saves the children. He's good. He's just. He's loving. He's Jesus. So as we worship him this week, I want you to keep that in mind and think about our amazing God, who he came to be, and how glad we are that he's not who we expected. With your family and the palm leaves you made, I want you to walk around your living room or backyard or house and say, "Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna. Praise to God in the highest."